Okay, I thought I would do a video about moisture and woodworking. So I've seen people get very discouraged because their projects end up breaking or cracking at the joints and doing other stuff because of moisture changes. So wood fluctuates based on the moisture content. A dry house, it's going to shrink. A moist house, it's going to expand. In the wood shop, depending on your wood shop, it's going to do one thing. When you get it to the house, it's going to do another thing. So years ago, I thought, well, I'm going to master this. I'm going to get my handy moisture meter, and you can place it on the wood. This is a piece of maple. It's been in the shop for, gosh, maybe a year. It was dried before that, and you can see the reading. Here's a piece of red oak that's Baltic. We'll talk about that some other time. Has a different reading. Another piece of maple, hard maple. Maybe soft maple, actually. Oh, and here's the one. I don't have much of this. Beech. So you can see it jumps around. Oh, look at that one. And that's what it's supposed to do. And the book that came with it is very cool, very handy. You can open it up, look at a certain species, look over and see what meter reading it gives and what moisture content that equals. So I started doing this, and I even bought a dehumidifier, and I thought I would have my wood shop staying at a certain level. And then all my wood inside would all become that certain level after a certain amount of time. And then I would test it and confirm that. Well, the problem is this is a hobby. I didn't really want to turn it into a science lab that I used to work in, or, when I came home from the science lab, I didn't want to have my wood shop be one. And the guy I used to consult with basically said to me, don't overcomplicate it. The best case scenario is that all of your wood sits in your house for a year before you use it. Then you use it, put it back in your house, and it stays the same. So in other words, what he was saying is keep your wood shop the same as your house. Now, what is your house? That fluctuates. So all in all, it is very complicated if you want to have everything exactly the same moisture content. Now, you definitely want to stay away from the extremes. And if a board is warped already, like in this case, you have to use it in such a way. Don't try to straighten it out because it's going to go back. So maybe I can take a short piece out of here. Maybe I can make diamonds out of this. But I don't want to use it in a long piece, even though I might want to because I like the piece that long. I really shouldn't. So moisture is very important. I do like the moisture meter. Have I used it a lot? No, I have not used it that much. Maybe from time to time over the years I have pulled it out. It's still on its same battery. It's been reliable. I think I maybe spent over $100. Did I really need it? I don't know if I did or not. It's kind of cool, but if you really... So we're going to go into another video about design for movement. And I think these two together are very important. So this is on moisture. And you can feel, like, I know I'm probably sounding crazy, but if you feel a piece of wood, over the years you'll probably get so you can feel like this is not dry, this is not right. And where was it before it was in here? How long was it in my wood shop? And for me, I don't try to keep it the same. I get the fire going once in a while. I got a lot of wood in here, so I got a lot of flywheel effect. It's not going to change a lot. And it's not a concrete floor where you can get moisture from. So it really depends on your wood shop and your habits. This is a hobby for me, so I'm not going through tons of wood a week. Now, if I was a manufacturing facility, This would be critical. I would have to have all my lumber kiln dried. I would have to have everything, because the flow, the turnaround rate is so much faster. It's not. These pieces of wood have been sitting in here for months, maybe even a year. I don't even know. Some of this has been in here 20, 30 years. I know it has been. It's kind of under the pile, and I'm not going to get to it for a long time. Hopefully I will someday. I got wood stashed in here that's really cool, but the moisture content on that has equilibrated to this wood shop for sure. And I don't think this wood shop's changing that much. Now, by rights, I should have a meter in here and just look at it every time I've made one for in here. It looks so nice, I took it elsewhere to see what the moisture content was, like in the basement or in the upper house or something like that. Maybe I have one in here. I'd have to go look in the other room. I don't even know what it says if it is. So, but even then, what's my target? So you have to know what your houses are or location where you're going to sell it. So there's a lot of variabilities there. And if you get too hung up on it, it might slow you down and stop you from doing stuff. So the next video about design and wood movement, I think, is how I succeed in using, because when you're using multiple species, remember, the denser ones are going to take in moisture and lose moisture slower than the less dense. So there's another variable to consider when you're using multiple species. So there's a lot to think about, but I'm going to talk about designing for that. And I do think that that's the key factor for me anyways. So look for that video.